Purebloods, welcome back. That was scary, but this is Scott and William, and we're back, and we're wearing the same clothes as last podcast. Pretty exciting.
Yep.
William, we're back for part 2 of our journey through daily life
and time.
Yes, daily life in the Wizarding World / magic and spells. Just like last week, we're going to go through various essays throughout harrypotter.com. You can follow along on harrypotter.com. We'll call out which essay we're discussing, and it's a blast. I've been loving it.
They're great stuff. Really broadens the mind.
Agreed. William, last time I brought up how we need like the Marvelization of Harry Potter, where they've got all the shows and they even went to cartoons and just gave us so many stories. I really want that for Harry Potter. And if Netflix is getting Harry Potter, I think there's a chance, because today there was a trailer for Stranger Things where they basically have a
I agree.
cartoon.
Why else would you spend $80 billion? You have to monetize it somehow.
Yes, create the real Harry Potter universe.
And like the whole, I mean, like one of the reasons they bought it is because there's the IP. It's almost impossible to create your own IP. They did it with Netflix. They did it with Stranger Things, and that's pretty much it.
Exactly.
Right? And Netflix is like, yeah, the Bridgerton or something else is popular, but you know what you're not doing? Building a Bridgerton theme park. You know what you could do is you could have a Stranger Things section of a theme park or something like that.
I'd go there every Halloween. Get the crap scared.
You know
out
what
of
I
me.
mean, though? Like that. Like that's it. They've been working their entire existence to build like IP for generations, and they've done one show that like transcended everything.
They did, and now
that they own Harry Potter, listen to Scott.
Steal Harry Potter.
Make
Do
more
this.
content.
Exactly. I have lots of ideas. I'm going to throw out some more nominations of things that should be in part of our like cartoon, so we can just get these stories without spending billions of dollars. But Stranger Things, they dropped a trailer today for a cartoon of a story that happens in 1985, which looks like the plot of every other season, where the kids are all having fun and then some demigorgon something comes and starts terrorizing them. And looks like a ton of fun. Most of the comments were hating on it, like, why didn't you just try harder in season 5, or what happened to Conformity
I love season
Gate?
5. Those people are idiots.
Yeah, we went at length. William, that's our like most viewed podcast is part 2, Stranger Things. Didn't actually know that on YouTube. Has like 130 views, so it's pretty exciting.
Whoa, pump the brakes.
I know.
Holy cow.
Actually, our second podcast ever, the HBO show one, was our number 1. So maybe we should get back to the show, but the problem is we can't because it's not here yet. But 2027, we will be potting about it every day. Every day is an exaggeration, but we will pot about it all the time. Anyways, Netflix, buy Harry Potter, make cartoons about Harry Potter world. I will watch it, and that's my takeaway.
Yeah, anthology stories. Star Wars does it. They have like the stories about like dark side and light side and all that other stuff. It'd be amazing. That would be great. But hey, I mean, there's hope, right? Obviously, nothing's imminent, but like, why else would Netflix buy? Like, they basically have like their pillars of what they bought was DC stuff, Harry Potter stuff, you know, as far as like, you know, popcorn, large scale.
Do it. I'm excited. Is Netflix gonna like win this bid? I haven't kept up with the legalities of what Paramount's doing.
I mean, they've won it. Like, basically, the Paramount guys, they can't do anything about it. The only thing that'll stop it is regulatory stuff. So who knows? But again, they should approve it because Netflix is competing for attention. They're not just competing against movie studios; they're competing against YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. All of it. They're all competing against each other for our time to keep us enslaved to their app instead of someone else's. And if they're going to make Harry Potter stuff, they will own my soul. So
I agree. If there's a politician running on, I will allow the Netflix HBO merger, I would vote for them. So
I would too.
I'm just saying.
I want maximum distribution of all Harry Potter content.
Agreed. Then we can get up to maybe 150 YouTube views if that happens. You know? Could happen.
One can dream.
Could. Maybe we'll get the Netflix deal like all the other podcasters. So Could be exciting. All right, William, we're on part 2. This is supposed to be a 7-part series, but these essays, we're up to like 98 essays, I think. So I thought we could do these essays in a couple chunks, but it's taken a little bit longer. Still a 7-part series. This is just part 3B, is basically where we are. So,
well, let's blast through them.
Let's go. Again, we'll be on harrypotter.com reviewing these essays, and you can follow along. The first one that we're going to do is Familiars, which I don't know why she made this essay. She basically is like, familiars aren't in Harry Potter. It's like, well, that's helpful. I guess you could make a lot of essays of things that aren't in Harry Potter, but basically a familiar is basically, all I could think of was Coco, like the magical spirit animals that like have magical powers. It's basically what they are. She's like, yeah, they don't exist in Harry Potter. I was like, thank you for that fun fact.
I wasn't really familiar with this like concept. Like,
me neither.
When you describe it, you're like, yeah, I've seen that in things,
Coco.
right? Like Coco or like, a bunch of stuff. But like, I couldn't. I was like, I was like, this is not a word that was in my lexicon.
Same. I had to read. I had no idea what I was about to read when I clicked on familiars.
It was kind of weird. It was probably it was kind of like something that like she thought about or talked about, and then like it was like, okay, cool, and you move on to the next one.
It's like an interview where someone was like, "Are you gonna have familiars in your books?" And she's like, "No, I don't think so." And then they turned it into an essay.
I do like how like animals are like more intelligent than they are in real life. Like owls like magically know where to go for anything. Mrs. Norris is like able to communicate with Filch, which she calls out as like the closest thing, like they have their connection. But yeah,
true.
Familiars.
True.
Whatever.
Interesting. Or not. The next one is the Mirror of Erised. We already know a lot about the Mirror of Erised. I feel like we didn't get a ton from this, but I thought it was interesting that the Mirror of Erised sat in the Room of Requirement for 100 years, and it was just brought to Hogwarts. No one really remembers where it came from.
No one knows how it was invented. It has like no known origin, whether it was like malevolent or like benevolent. Like was it made to screw with people? Was it made as like a thought experiment to like teach lessons, or what did someone make it as a joke?
I feel like a wise ruler sent it to an arch nemesis as a pretend gift, a frenemy, and really was actually to torture him. But I feel like is there like some short story here where like it's in the Room of Requirement and like someone has desperate need to like see someone who's dead or like do something that's impossible, and they walk past the Room of Requirement 3 times, and then it's just a room with the Mirror of Erised in it, and like it shows them what they desire, but they can't have it, and then they just like die in the Room of Requirement staring at the Mirror of Erised.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would read that.
I love the drawing that she made of little Harry in his nightgown, like standing in front of the mirror, like reaching out to his family. That was really good.
Whenever we do like a saddest moments podcast, that Harry's interaction with the Mirror of Erised will make a book 1 nominee for sure.
Right. I will say it took me longer than I want to admit to like read it backwards.
Stop moving your mouse and
sorry, I'm trying to
It's true. Are you going to read it? Are you going to read the inscription?
Erised stra ehru oit ube kafru oit on wosi. I liked reading it like that.
Beautiful. I don't remember the first time I read it backwards, but it was definitely as a kid. I don't remember when it was, but I don't know.
Right. It was I don't know. I mean, we can I show your face, but your heart. I show not your face, but your heart's desire. Right? That's what the backwards is. But it takes longer than I want to admit for me to like my brain to like read things backwards. I'm not fast at that at all. I'm a very fast reader, but not for that. So Anyway, but the Mirror of Erised is an infinitely cool idea and like thoughtful, and I don't know, it was a great lesson to me, 11-year-old who read the book.
Agreed. William, for those who don't know, this podcast is brought to us by the much needed book only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia game. Boom. We have at least 3 copies here in this podcast right now. If you would like to buy one, contact me and I will sell you one. Pretty exciting. $29.99. No discounts, okay? Don't even try.
We'll just jack the price up to $39.99 and then we'll offer you a discount to $20.
Exactly. Yeah. Go on TikTok. It's more expensive there. Then come to my website. It's cheaper there. Discount. Bam. William, this is a level 4.
Ooh, a 4.
Can you name 7 things that people actually see, claim to see, or are believed to see in the Mirror of Erised? 7 things, not 7 people. You can repeat people. I have to say believed to see. We'll get to there. It's like basically someone's guessing at what someone else sees, and I had to use the word believe. We believe that this person sees this.
Well, you believe Dumbledore was holding socks.
Yeah. Well, that's
at one point someone did believe that.
Yeah. Well, that's a claim. He claimed to see that. So yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Is that one of the answers though? Like
it is.
Does that fit the qualifications for? Okay.
He claimed.
And then like you, Dumbledore, like with his family, like his dead sister.
Exactly. That's the belief to me. It's like Harry believes that that's what he saw. Like he saw Dumbledore with Ariana.
Like that's what he would see. But and then because I loved how that like ties in like one of the first things in the first book and like the last things in the last book. You know what you'd believe to see. Let's see. Quirrell giving the stone to Voldemort. Harry seeing his family. Ron being like head boy, Quidditch captain, and like above everybody. Harry lies. Does it count?
Yes,
lying and shaking hands with Dumbledore and like winning the House Cup.
Yes, and one more.
Oh, the getting the stone and putting in his pocket.
What he actually sees.
Yeah,
exactly. Congratulations, you have qualified for a level 5 question coming later. Maybe.
Ooh, can't wait.
Maybe. Well done. Well done. Let's move on to the Sword of Gryffindor. Again, we already know a lot about the Sword of Gryffindor. I'm not sure we learned a ton here. Just kind of revisits what we already know.
You already learned a ton. You learned a ton.
Okay, I apologize for that statement. Let's just rewind. We learned a lot about the Sword of Gryffindor from this. My biggest takeaway is that goblins are stupid. And if you think that paying for an object only gets it till that person dies, then put it in writing. You run a freaking bank. You know how to make a contract, okay? If you just want to go to war with wizards, then yeah, just lie and say like, no, that's mine now. But if not, put it in writing and we'll sign it and then you can have it back, okay? Just don't be idiots.
It's leased.
Yeah.
Leased for
life.
Put
it in writing.
Yeah. I liked this story because like 2 things. One, it was really about like she talks about how it's like the cultural differences, right? Like, like I don't have as much experience like traveling, but like, like people who like go to Asia or other places, like it is different. They have different cultural norms of like what
they do,
like individualism means and what like, things like that. Like it is a different thing. It is not the same, right? As like we think of in our world. Doesn't mean right or wrong. It's just a very cultural difference of like, and that's what she wanted to show between goblins. But I also liked how basically she went out of her way to be like, look, Gryffindor's not a bad guy. Like he's not, because it made Harry feel. Because remember, Harry was like queasy about it. They're like,
yes,
what if he did steal it, right?
Right.
And then she's like,
definitive.
No, he didn't steal it. He didn't steal it. The Goblin guy lied. He definitely didn't. Like that's not to say Gryffindor was perfect or whatever, but he definitely lied, and it was not.
He might have
a
been
stolen
perfect,
object. We'll find out when they make a show with Henry Cavill as Godric Gryffindor.
I can't wait.
As the made up, not true rumors that you see on the internet. So yeah, I don't know. You did learn a lot about it. One that I always forgot too that like it's made of silver, not like steel.
True, which is fascinating. Yeah, all
which
silver.
Is fascinating because like but it's goblin made silver, so obviously it's like more powerful than steel. Like it would cut through anything. It would be
unbreakable.
Yeah, and like sharper and better and perfect in every way. Also, like the culture of like the goblins is like that guy's the best, so he's the king.
He's the king of goblins, but he works harder than everyone. He's just way better at working.
Yeah, so he's the best. Yeah, I liked that. It was cool. Like, and also like Grip Hook was definitely a radical. Grip Hook was like not
True.
like representative of like the average goblin. He is the extreme.
This is true.
So it kind of just colored the whole like, goblin wizard issue, which is
all I learned is that wizards are right and goblins are dumb and they deserve to be second-class creatures in the wizarding world. So that's all I learned from that.
Yeah, it's a great take. I think that's what the book was trying to teach you. So.
Okay, house elves is where they taught me to care about less smart than human creatures. Okay, goblins, no, not at all.
Society to protect ugly goblins. You're not going to join.
No, exactly.
SPUG.
No, I'm not. I feel like next week we'll talk a lot about goblin rebellions. There's like basically always a goblin rebellion happening, and we got to put a stop to this. Just kill them all. I don't know, but wipe them out. I don't know how a minister never got elected on, hey, I'm going to kill all the goblins because there's always a rebellion happening.
What do you mean? That's what Fudge was doing. You read the Quibbler?
That's a good point. Next up is Gobstones. Gobstones
boring
is not cool. That was my biggest note. You said it last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago now. Wizards really need an indoor sport. Gobstones is not it. And the other takeaway was that Snape's mom, Eileen Prince, was really good at Gobstones, and
nerd.
That makes her so much less cool than just being like smart, like Snape. Like, no, she's a huge loser. So that's all. That's my only takeaways.
Yeah. Like, what would be the Muggle equivalent of like Gobstones? Like, it wouldn't even be like the chess club, which my kids are in, but like,
it's like, it's hard to think of an equivalent. It's like handball, but like handball would be cool. It's just like you can't find it and play it. I don't know. There's no good equivalent. How about?
Yeah, for me it would be like people who play like Call of Duty all the time, but but I'm not one to judge because like I like Mario. I just like different games. I just don't like Call of Duty.
Today, little brother Eric told me that Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to be in his bottom 2 of Switch games all time. So,
what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he. I mean, he was playing Paw Patrol tonight. I texted him. I was like, "How's Paw Patrol?" He's like, "It sucks." He's like, "How's Donkey Kong Bonanza?" I'm like, "The kids really like it." And he's like, "It's my bottom 2 Switch games all time." So, I'm just saying.
I think it's really good. It's not as good as Odyssey, but it is.
But like,
very good.
I've only played like 4 one-player games on the Switch, and 2 of them are Zelda, and 1 of them's Mario Odyssey, and this is the 4th. So it's definitely last like by a lot compared to those 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think like to keep it in perspective, like those other 3 are like 10 out of 10. I would say this one's like a 9.
Agreed.
So that's what I would, it's like a 9 out of 10.
I mean, I'm only like
the other 3 are
into the game. I agree. I'm only an hour into the game, and it does just seem like a lot of punching and not a ton of variety after the punching, but I'm enjoying it.
There's a lot more stuff. More bonanzas.
I like the bonanzas.
Turn into different creatures and all that stuff.
Creatures. That's classic Donkey Kong. Turn into the DK64. Turn into the Rhino. Classic. Okay. The next essay is Pureblood. A couple takeaways here. 1, Magbob is a horrible name. And I guess Magbob.
Great.
It was like the cool name for a Muggleborn. Magbob.
Wasn't that fascinating though? That like they talk about how like Muggleborns were like well regarded because they were thought to be like special, which is like the natural way you would think. We're like, look, that person is magic and nobody else in their family is. They're really unique and special. So like true. Salazar Slytherin being an outlier for his time as a racist piece of crap is like fascinating to think. Like that was not the prevailing opinion. And then that pernicious doctrine, uh,
Yeah.
spread. And because there's no good history of magic teachers, and they allowed it to, and
dung lickers.
Yeah. But that was I thought the most fascinating part. The Magbob, like, which is the name for the magic bobbed up in them. Like, they just showed up. Magic showed up. Like, Muggleborns were well regarded and like thought highly of.
It's true. It is cool. And then, yeah, to your point, the doctrine comes, and then Pureblood, the way that they describe it, it's really a political statement, not a biological fact, because the only Purebloods are like the Gaunts, who are basically insane because of interbreeding, and there's no Purebloods. It's not possible. And then they talk about the Sacred 28, which I feel like people talk about that a lot online, the Sacred 28 and who's in that and who's not. I guess my question with that is like, why did this anonymous, who they think is like probably a not, why did they put the Weasleys on it?
Cantankerous not.
Yes, hilarious name. Why'd they put the Weasleys on it if they knew the Weasleys were going to be like, I'm not down with that?
Well, so I thought of it like this. So like the reason like the Weasleys were on that is because like they're a massive family in wizard history. Like apparently they're like rabbits, they breed, right? So there's a bunch of them, which also doesn't make any sense. Ron would definitely have cousins or uncles or aunts or something at Hogwarts, like
True.
with the amount of Weasleys they talk about, like he would definitely have cousins. They just never show you that. But no, I thought of it like that, like Weasley was just like a very old, well-known family, like with like a long history in England. So like there's just a lot of them in this like small community of wizards relative to like the scale of an entire country. Like that name is just really well known. Like everyone knows that like, hey, the Weasleys there's been Wizard Weasleys for, 1,000+ years in Britain. So they're just around. So that's why they're in the Sacred 28, because they've just been around longer. Whereas like another family may be different than that, I don't know.
Like the Potters.
That was
not listed.
Yeah. They're new blood, new money. They're the Weasleys are blue bloods. The Potters are new
name
bloods.
died out. I thought it was really interesting. It was a meaty one. This next one is Azkaban, which was probably my favorite one that I read, and we're going to introduce it. I was fascinated by it. We're going to start off with a level 7 from the much needed book only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia.
Okay.
You ready? We've done
always.
I feel like I can't remember if we've done this on air before, but here we go. Name 11 Death Eaters who are sentenced to Azkaban after the first fall of Voldemort. First fall of Voldemort. Harry takes him down. Who goes to Azkaban? Who's in Azkaban while Harry's growing up?
The Lestranges.
Correct. Rodolphus and Bellatrix.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess Igor was there and then he got out.
Yeah, not counting that. He was in a holding pattern, not sentence there. Sentence, keyword.
So there's 11 Death Eaters.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh gosh. All right. We're going to go through like the people who like showed up. Dolohov.
Yes.
Dolohov. Rookwood.
Yes.
I'm just sort of naming it like Thorfinn Rowell.
Yes, Rowell.
Jugson.
Yes, Jugson.
Gibbon.
Yes, Gibbon.
Oh, he had Lestrange had a brother, Rabaston.
Correct. You're reading them in reverse order on the card. Ral, Jugson, Gibbon, Rabaston. You just got 8 through 11. You've got 3 more. Or maybe 4 more, actually.
Did I say Travers?
No, you have not. That is correct.
And then, Barty Jr.
Barty Crouch Jr. Yes, sir.
Who also escaped.
Yes, but he was sentenced to Azkaban.
Yeah, he was sentenced. Good point. Mulciber,
correct. I think just one more.
Oh, God.
You might have already said it.
I think I've said.
Did you say Rookwood?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, you got it early. Congratulations. You just got 11 Death Eaters who were sentenced to Azkaban after the first fall of Voldemort, a level 7 question from my game, Ultimate Harry Potter Trivia. Mad respect, William. You're amazing. I made the game for you because you're a genius and I love you. Azkaban. I have my first nominee of this week's podcast for things I want to see adapted to television, where we learn the origin of Azkaban. Azkaban was basically created by, how do you say his name, William? Ecridis? Exidris, who was an insane dark wizard who lured, tortured, and killed Muggle sailors. After he died, some of his enchantments went away, and the Ministry found the place, and they said that the least frightening thing that they could find in this fortress that he made called Azkaban were the Dementors, and everything else was too horrifying to talk about. I would love to just see it, anything about this on television, anything at all.
It would be insanely dark. It reminds you of like like Nazi doctors, that kind of thing, or like, what's like Vlad the Impaler, or like these just truly dark. And I pulled it up while we were talking here. Exidris. Ecrisdis. Sorry, Ecrisdis. And I like how they said like unknown nationality.
Yes.
Like he was just basically born from hell, apparently.
He's a spawn of Satan who created his own island and made a fortress of death.
An island to, yeah. And then they basically just were like, all right, well, the Dementors are already here, and we don't want them to leave here. We want them to stay here. So let's just bring people to them.
So they say that Dementors... Go.
Diggory was definitely like poisoned with dragonpox, right? Like some dark wizard, definitely. Because the reason,
for magic.
Yeah, there's a Diggory who, I don't know what, who wanted to close it, and they were like, he was trying to he was the minister for magic. He was working with the panel, the Wizengamot, to we need to close this place. It's bad. And they're deliberating, and they're going through the political process of we need to do this. And then he dies of dragonpox, poisoned.
There was a lot of suspicious deaths on the Ministry for Magic, which we will talk about in a week or so. But yeah, I think he was definitely murdered by pro-Azkaban folks. Yeah, that's basically why people wanted it originally. The Dementors are here. If we force them from here, they'll come to Britain and everywhere else, and that'll be horrible. They say that Dementors are impossible to kill. But we also know that Dementors breed. So do Dementors die of old age, or are they just going to continuously multiply until they take over the entire world?
I don't think kill means the same as ceases to exist.
Expound,
they're
please.
Not. Well, they're not alive. They're a creature, but are they even alive? Or are they just some kind of force of darkness, right? So, well, what does it mean to kill anything? in the sense that like, can you make it go away forever? Like, I don't think you can like run it through with an arrow. You know what I mean? Like chuck a spear through it. Like that doesn't kill.
But like you hit it with
affect
Avada Kedavra. You hit it with Avada Kedavra. Does it bounce off?
No, I don't think that would do anything. I don't think it would do anything because I don't think it has like a body that's with a living heart, like a heartbeat or something else, right? Like a nervous system or like a brain even. I don't know. It's just like a manifestation of despair, right? And they breed and like they can multiply, but I don't think like, I feel like at the end of the books, like they're always going to be around, but I don't think that like it's because if they can't be like kill isn't the right word, like die, right? They don't die. They just get consumed by light. Like they're not, you can't kill it in the traditional sense. It has to be like,
but a Patronus just makes it,
and
a Patronus just makes it run away, though, right?
Yeah. But like, if you take away the Dementors, if you take away a Dementor's source, like all those Dementors that were in Azkaban, they're keeping them alive, right? Like they are feeding them, right? But what if you take away their food supply? Then they'll go find it somewhere else. But like, what if it's harder to find? Like, and then they'll thin out, right? Like if there's less despair, you know, I don't know. That's just my thought is that like, I don't know, they can't be killed, but because they're not really alive, they're a force of nature. That doesn't mean they can't be stopped. Or
they can definitely be stopped, yes, but I don't know.
Or
it seems like
you know, like energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? They are energy. They go back into non-being, which is to say everything. Like I don't know.
I would just like to see a population chart over time of Dementors, okay? And
I think it goes up and down.
I dig.
Because I don't think like they say breeding, but I don't think they're having little babies and like raising them in a family. You know what I mean? Like they're just like spawning more.
You probably didn't think that about orcs until you saw Rings of Power and saw that the little orc babies, the orcs just want to raise their happy little families. Okay, so
no, I definitely thought orcs were. I mean, like have reproductive organs.
I thought they were more like Orcai than elves, and were just spawned out of the pits of wherever Saruman was digging. But yes,
yeah.
Anyways, all right.
That's a critique of Rings of Power.
I wasn't critiquing. I just saw a lot of people make fun of that. I thought it was cool.
We enjoyed it, but we're easily entertained fools. Like we're not going to hate it
unless
I enjoyed it.
Harry Potter.
Unless that's true. Unless it's the Harry Potter movies, which are garbage and you shouldn't like them. Ask for better in your life.
Exactly. All right. Like I said, Azkaban, my number one nominee right now for things I want to.
Yeah, that's like as dark as it gets, right? Of like anything in the Harry Potter universe. Like
absolutely,
that's darker than like anything Voldemort does.
Yes,
like he's getting freaky and weird and murderous and all sorts of evil.
He's past unusual evil, but this guy, Voldemort's past unusual evil. This guy soared way past usual evil, and
he just wasn't obsessed with like living forever. Apparently, he just wanted to like murder and kill as many people as possible.
Mad respect again,
but he wasn't like obsessed with living forever like Voldemort was.
Dementors are like the essence of fear, and they were the least fearful thing in Azkaban. I just want to know what kind of writer, director, creator, what they could think of to go past this. And whoever that has to be a cartoon, because we don't need like another Heath Ledger on our hands where like someone tries to get in character and then can't get out of character. And anyways, we don't need that.
Yikes.
We don't need that. But it should be Christopher Nolan now that I think about it, who should direct this. So I'll try to put in a word. Maybe Hans Zimmer can pull him in.
Also, last thing about it is it's cool that it's partly named after Alcatraz, a portmanteau of Alcatraz and Abaddon, which is a Hebrew word for place of destruction or depths of hell. But it's just kind of cool that like she was partly inspired by an American thing, Azkaban, Alcatraz. So
America.
I mean, I always wondered too, like when the North Sea, when they're drilling it for oil, did someone accidentally like see Azkaban? Like when the Norwegians or the Brits are like out there drilling for a bunch of oil, like there's like some kind of spell that like makes them forget, like, nah, we don't want to drill here. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah, or when the evil wizard was there, he was luring him right over. So killing him by the
well, that was in the
boatload.
15th century, though.
True. Not drilling for
But
oil
yeah.
quite yet. Okay. Our next one is the Leaky Cauldron. This one was pretty funny. The Leaky Cauldron was built like before the road that Muggles exist on today. It was built before that, and then as Muggles were planning to build the road, the long-winded Minister for Magic gets up and starts to announce to everyone that the Leaky Cauldron is going to have to go away. And he talks for 7 hours, and then when he sits down, he gets a note from his secretary saying, "People have mobilized, and the Leaky Cauldron is going to be okay because the Muggles are going to build around it." And we learned that there were potentially some Imperious curses going on, some mass memory charms, as city planners just decided to build around this little area where the Leaky Cauldron is.
I always like the title of one of the books that they're using to look for stuff for the to breathe underwater. Where there's a wand, there's a way. Nothing would be more frustrating than some idiot politician like, well, it can't be done. Like, shut up. We're wizards. Yes, it can. Like, we're not asking to fly to Jupiter here on a broomstick. Like, we're asking to keep this pub. Yes, we can do it. It can be done. Don't tell me no. Ridiculous.
Well said.
What a loser, that minister. Like, you guys are wizards. Don't think like, oh, it can't be done. Yes, it can. Shut up.
It can, and it was done. And it was just cool about the Leaky Cauldron is like I don't know. It's been important for a long time, and it's always been like a safe, happy place, especially when they went from the Statue of Secrecy in the 1700s, 1600s, or whatever.
Right. I like how it went back before that, like Muggles would come in there and be like confused. Like, there's some weird people here.
That was exciting. Agreed.
But I bet the Muggles wanted to go there though because it was like less stinky and smelly than the rest of London because they could just disappear their poop instead of tossing it out the door.
Scourgify. Well said. Well said. Next is the essay Measurements, which I wasn't sure what this was going to be about, but then I get it. This was basically her explanation as to why they use imperial measurements instead of the metric system. And basically, wizards didn't care to change to the metric system because wizards do old stuff and the least convenient stuff all the time. So they stuck with the imperial system, and I liked it. It made sense to me.
I like that too, especially because like Britain is a country that's like on both. Like they use both. Like the metric system came along and they're like, yeah, this is better. We'll partially switch to it. But they didn't fully, right? But I like the idea of wizards just choose to do things the hard way. Like I talked about the other day with whatever, different podcasts. They're like the Amish. Like, yeah, I know that stuff exists, but I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I don't need to change.
So she uses the words, they can do laborious calculations magically. What does that mean? They're not actually doing calculations, or does it mean they don't have to do the calculation because they have magic and therefore like
that
they can?
I think like if you're like building, right? Like the engineering and like the whatever of building, they can just make sure that it's
make those
structurally
bricks line
sound
up.
Or like, like they don't have to do the pedantic hard parts of things. Like they can make that part easier.
Makes sense.
But I don't think like any of them are like Archimedes here, or maybe Archimedes was a wizard, right? I don't know. But like, I don't think they're like, like are engineers or whatever. They're not mathematicians. I don't think they're studying calculus and hardcore geometry and whatever else.
Is the class arithmancy at Hogwarts math? What are they learning in that class?
Is some kind of math. The magic of numbers? I don't know.
Are they just learning about 7 every single week? 7, the most
Maybe
magically
there's like
powerful
things
number.
with weird weird stuff they can do with pi, or like the golden ratio, or like the Fibonacci sequence, or like I don't know. There's like all sorts of magic you can.
I just assumed they were learning like Muggle math, like they were learning calculus and geometry so that they could, build stuff. But
Yeah, maybe like Pascal's triangle has some like magical use that we don't know about.
Your theories are much more exciting than mine. I like that. I just thought it was math.
Well,
and I was like, why
I've
on earth
spent the
is
last however many years. My kid's 10 now. When he was 4, he was doing algebra. So
true.
True. I've been studying math more.
Yes, you have. We're all smarter for your son being in our life. The next one is the Daily Prophet. I had 2 tidbits here. One is that I didn't realize the Evening Prophet was just for emergency headlines, and that the Evening Prophet
they
is not
referenced
a daily.
it a few times.
Right.
Like we can make the evening edition if we hurry.
Right.
But wouldn't that be, you'd think like how important like the Daily Prophet would be in the wizard world.
No internet,
no
TV.
I mean, it's the same as our world. I mean, like realistically, because back when she wrote this, newspapers were at their apex, right? Like the internet was not like
it
was
technically newscasters
around
on TV though.
But even then, like, in the 90s when you wrote this, like newspapers were at their absolute apex of like, the power of like the information, daily. I mean, you and I both, we're not even that old, but we loved like reading the sports section or like the Washington Post, like, I left DC. I know I left DC when I was little, but I still younger. But even when I was 8 years old, I remember the sports section in DC and how much better it was than the Austin paper. I moved.
It's true. It was a daily ritual for everyone in my family to read the newspaper. Well, I don't know about everyone, but me and my parents to read the newspaper.
It was a big freaking deal.
It was.
Especially if y'all lived in DC, you had like a real like awesome paper and all that stuff. But I mean, yeah. So like, but they basically have a monopoly because there's other like publications. But from the looks of it, like Witch Weekly and the Quibbler are not news outlets. They're entertainment and whatever else.
Right. This is also,
that's how word gets out.
It's true. Incredibly important. This is the second time she tries to reference how we don't need the internet because our pictures move. And I just think that's weak. And I don't care if your pictures move. The internet is still worth having. So anyways.
I was thinking about that. So like, they talk about, and it's in a different one, but like basically muggles, the wizards adopted plumbing because they're like, this is just so much better.
Yes.
There's like certain things in like history where like, this is so much better. Like, for example, wizards in America are going to have AC or some kind of magical implementation of air conditioning, right? Because in England, no, people live without AC. It's not weird, right? Well, guess what? In Texas or North Carolina or Louisiana or most of America, frankly, living without air conditioning is a non-starter.
Right.
Unless you live in La Jolla.
True.
In which case, it's perfect all the time, always. Okay, great. But nowhere else is like that.
I've gotten a lot of videos from family in La Jolla during these snowstorms, sending pictures of beautiful sunny beaches. So, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I was thinking about. Like, like there's no way that so about the internet, like eventually wizards would adopt some form of the technology we've seen in the last 20 years, let's say, of like mobile telecom and stuff like that. Because it's too good to pass up. The wizards
too smart
that live in Louisiana are not suffering without air conditioning. The Weasley's house doesn't need air conditioning, but they do have but like, when they discovered plumbing, they're like, yeah, that's too good to turn down. We got to have plumbing. I can't just be pooping on the floor and then disappearing it.
I have to disappear the whole family. None of them could do magic. 7 kids just pooping all over the place. Not allowed to do magic. As soon as Bill's 17, he's doing all the poop disappearing.
It's like a weekly chore. Like, hey,
yeah,
go disappear the poop pile.
Go. I can still smell Ron's poop. It's hidden in his room. Go disappear it. It's just.
Speaking of our dog, Remus, we came home the other day and just explosive diarrhea all over the upstairs. Everywhere. Legos, toys.
What?
Everywhere.
This is why I'm not sad that I'm allergic to cats. I'm not really allergic to dogs, but I feel like a really furry dog, I'm probably allergic, and I have no problems with that. No problems.
Yeah, speaking of 2 cats and a dog, so
they own you. Speaking of which, the next one I think we both found very fascinating: illness and disability. Where the summary is basically a Muggle ailment can almost always be cured by magic, pretty much instantly,
right?
Like a broken
get a cold, get a pepper up potion, feel great.
Yes, you break your bone, magic will heal that. Like you're good.
Yeah,
but a magical ailment is not so easily fixed by magic, like dragonpox, which seems to kill like half of wizard kind based on the random anecdotes
Curses,
from
Jinx.
Yes,
Jinxes. That I think that's one of the more brilliant things that she did to like build this world, to make it feel like more approachable than like maybe like deep fantasy, right? Is that like it feels more normal-ish, you know, in that sense. Like they deal with the same things, it's just different, you know.
Right.
Like, yeah, they get colds just like anyone. But then they're also going to have like, you know, the magical ailments that are the same thing. Yeah. So I just think that was like a brilliant way to like build the world in the right way to like create a world like it doesn't solve all the problems. It'll solve a lot of mundane problems, but with magic solutions come magical issues. So, you know, because it would be very boring if everything was just like, well, magic can do literally anything, which I kind of said earlier of like, where there's a wand, there's a way. But like, that's where like, you know,
it's like dealing with Muggle stuff.
It's like, it's just like, don't tell me no, it can't be done. Like, yes, it can.
It's like
everything can.
Yeah. But again, it's like what the Muggle prime minister says to Fudge. He's like, but for heaven's sake, you can do magic. He's like, so can the other side.
Yeah.
But
so can the bad guys. And they'd have no conscience.
The other part of this article talks about Lupin and lycanthropy. Did I say it right?
Lycanthropy.
Yeah, that's what I said. And how basically it's like it's her parallel with AIDS, and how like isolating, certainly in the 90s, that it made you, and you're a pariah who people are scared to be around you. And as a 9-year-old, I didn't make that connection, and I'm not sure how many times I really thought about it or made that connection as an adult either. So I thought that was really interesting.
Right. Well, I mean, like that's one of the biggest miracles of our lifetime is that like, I mean, when we were kids, like people talked about that, but like they basically got rid of it.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, you know,
it's true.
They got it under control. People thought it was going to like kill everybody. And then they're like, well, no, never mind. Like we figured it out.
This is
more
true.
or less. Like obviously it's still a thing, but like, you know.
But I imagine like my kids aren't going to have like an assembly where people with AIDS come and talk about how don't do drugs and like you'll get AIDS. Like that was my elementary school education.
Yeah, they talked about stuff like that all the time. But yeah, she compared the Wolfsbane potion to the retroviral medication and everything like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
which was
I did.
really
Oh, yeah. Those were my other thoughts of like, well, yeah, maybe I talked about it on the Lupin page, but like, we need more access to the Wolfsbane potion. Like, that's I feel like I'm a socialist now. Like, I don't care how expensive it is. Like, there's werewolves who are killing people. Like, we got to get them the Wolfsbane. I'm pretty sure I wrote this all down on Lupin's page. But like, we need more Wolfsbane potion. Am I wrong?
I know, isn't that tough though? Because like basically the way that like werewolves are, like Lupin talks about how like I show signs of trying to live among wizards, Like, but most of the werewolves have like shunned wizard kind, and they're living on the edges, and they don't want to be found. Like, it would take like generations of like outreach and like programs and things like that to like make a dent in like figuring that out. True. Or you can just do your goblin version and just round them up and kill them.
I'm in for that.
To do with goblins.
I'm in. Well, I think I'll have more thoughts on this next week. When again, I think we'll talk through some of our ministers and some of the goblin rebellions, and yeah, maybe I will want to wipe out the werewolves. We'll find out. William, we have 3 more. 3 more to go. This next one is Secret Keeper, which I will introduce with our last Ultimate Harry Potter trivia question. I was going to say maybe second to last, but it'll be our last. Our last one is a level 4. Can you name 4 people who act as Secret Keeper for a Fidelius charm, and not including when a certain death occurs and all members of the Order of the Phoenix become a Secret Keeper?
Lame. Yeah, Dumbledore is the Secret Keeper.
It's a big
that
hint.
Counts though as the one, like the one.
Correct. For Grimmauld Place. If you could tell me the location as well, that'd be great.
Okay.
For fun.
And then we have Pettigrew, Godric's Hollow, Potter's House.
Yes.
And then we have Bill and Arthur. Bill for Shell Cottage, Arthur for the Burrow.
That is correct. You don't have to get the place correct, but actually, Arthur is the Secret Keeper for Aunt Muriel's. I don't think anyone's at the Burrow. I think they all got expunged.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
You can disagree, but I'm pretty sure it's Aunt Muriel's. Secret Keeper.
Fred and George are running an owl order service out of her.
Yes, and they're driving her up the wall. Congratulations, level 4. Accomplished.
The Secret Keeper thing, though, was fascinating about, like, you can't torture it out of people.
Yes. Must be given.
I thought about that,
willingly.
though. Like, if I got tortured long enough, I would want to give that secret up.
Yeah, I feel like what it meant to me was like, because again, the words that it uses are fascinating. It says it's the concealment of information inside a living person. And so, like, this information has been magic to only exist inside this person. And to me, it's like, it can't be tortured out. To me, it's like, you can't like sectum sempra them or like use Accio or like use any sort of magic to pull it out of them. They must give it to you willingly. To your point, I think you could willingly change your allegiance and be like, okay, I will give it to you. Like Sirius going into hiding, like he's going into hiding for a reason, right? Because like they could get it out of him, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. That was, I think though that like if you are like clearly like torture doesn't work. Like it doesn't. That would be forcing them. You force them to want to or something. You know what I mean? There's some magic there of like torture doesn't work. Otherwise, it would be how everyone does it to get it out.
Okay, that's where we're landing. I mean,
they're clear about it in the essay. It's like, no, torture doesn't work.
What they say is it can't be forced out of you. Does it use the word torture?
Yeah, it does say torture. Like it even references the Cruciatus curse, doesn't it?
It says, although the secret cannot be forced, bewitched, or tortured out of a secret keeper who does not wish to give up the secret, it must be given voluntarily. You're right. It can't be tortured. You're right. Again, I thought the wording of this was fascinating. And like the only times we see a secret keeper used is the information of a location. But how else could this be applied? Again, the concealment of information inside a living person. Could I like, what else? How else could we use this? There's got to be more ways to use this where like this information now no one understands it, knows it, except it's inside this person. There's got to be more than locations, right?
What else would you want to protect besides like your own?
Like the result
like
of
like the ingredients to flu powder?
Yes, exactly. Right? Like you could erase that. Like, but if so many other people know it though, like let's say, yeah, like the ingredients to to a polyjuice potion. Like, why can't I conceal that? It has been told to other people, like, if you've been to this house, you know where it is. I conceal that secret information. You no longer can find that house, no matter what. Why can't I do that with any information? Why can't I do that with the ingredients to polyjuice potion? Yes, I already read it in a book. It's in a book. Like, same with this house. It's on a map. I know that it is here, but I cannot find it.
The thing about the thing about the secret keeper thing is that, like, it magically protects you, but that doesn't mean you can't know where they are. Like, he knew they were at their house, right? Or,
Yes.
like, you could, like, surmise that, right? And he could
Right.
go there and he could be like, "I know they're at their house, and I know Dumbledore's the secret keeper, or whoever's the secret keeper, but there's nothing you can do about getting in." So it's like a secret you know, but you don't, like, have, like,
It's
the confirmation. You know what I
I
mean?
I feel like the wording is not correct here in this website then. Is it the concealment of information inside a living being, or is it the concealment of access inside a living human being?
Well,
You
I think
know?
it's like it's both. Like it is like the official it's like the official record of something, you know?
Right. Which what I'm saying. Why
So
can't I
that's
do
what
that
I
with
mean about,
polyjuice
like,
potion?
but, like, that's what I mean about, like, because the whole point of Fidelius charm is that it's, like, protecting people, but, like, I don't know, maybe there's something about, like, you're protecting, like, actual living souls, compared to, like, an object. Maybe there's better ways
Information.
to protect an object. Like, why didn't they just secret keeper the Sorcerer's Stone?
You mean like, oh yeah, like put the stone inside a Fidelius charmed house, or do it directly to the object? I guess is what you're saying. Fidelius charm the object.
Or, like, yeah, put it in a box that has a Fidelius charm on it. Whereas the
These seem like good applications to me. Yeah, I think that's exactly what they should be doing. Like, Fidelius charm the third floor corridor. Can you do that? Like, it's gone. Can't find it unless Dumbledore tells you.
yeah, I don't think Hogwarts. I think Hogwarts is, like,
Yeah,
a
that's
problem of
probably true.
scale. Like, it's a scale issue, you know?
That's fair. That's fair.
You know?
I don't know. I
So,
thought it was really
I
interesting.
don't
I
know.
need to
That's
think
a
more
good
about
one.
this. I'm going to put this out there, see what the internet says.
Yeah, I wanna know what people
Um,
think. Like, I don't know. To me, like, I feel like there's something about, like, the secret is not that, like the secret isn't about knowing, like, a specific bit of information. It's, like, hiding something. Because, like I said, that, like, he can surmise that, yeah, the Potters are probably at their house, but I can't go there because they've done this thing that stops me. But, like, I know
right,
they're there, and I know who their secret keeper is, right? Or
right.
whatever. Because, like, you can tell someone who the secret keeper is. Like, they say Arthur's the secret keeper, Bill's the secret keeper here. Like, people know who the secret
True.
keeper is,
Also true.
right? Um, so, like, it's just something about the magic of protection, of, like, hiding, like, it's like an official record of, like, you know, it's like swallowing, like, the key. Like,
Yeah.
well, it's in here, you can't get it.
Do
You're not gonna
Fidelius
poop it out.
charm do Fidelius charms work on house elves? Is that how Dobby was able to go to Shell Cottage? Or were they just like right outside Shell Cottage and then like Bill was there and he just like brought them into the Fidelius charm?
Was the Fidelius charm set up until
Did they start it because of Harry? That's not what
I
I
think the Fidelius charm wasn't enforced until after because they they saw Ron and, like, he was spotted, and that's what happened. Like it confirmed that he wasn't.
I guess you're right.
home
That
and
timing makes
spattered right.
sense. That
That's what
timing makes
happened.
sense.
So
You're right.
the Dobby would not be able to apparate in or anything like that.
You're right. I feel like
He can apparate into an apparition protected home, but he can't apparate into a secret keeper's home unless invited.
like a vampire.
There you
That's
go.
interesting. You're right. I feel like I heard that called out on the internet somewhere. Like, how did they get past the secret keeper? But yeah, it wasn't. There was no Fidelius charm. I'm aligned. I believe. All right, William. We got 2 more.
Let's go quick. We got to beat our time.
The next one is the Order of Merlin. I have a level 6 trivia, but we can move past it. What I learned about Order of Merlin is that it's political garbage, and I thought it was cooler than it was. But Fudge gave himself one, like a loser, and one of the black ancestors bought himself one.
Terrace.
Yeah, I can't say his name. Thank you. And
I guess my ministry a bunch of gold.
Exactly. So I guess my question is,
what's some favorable terms with a low interest rate?
Like, why aren't you going to Green Gods for that? What's more biased?
Maybe
the
they
Order
don't
of
like
Merlin?
goblins.
True. Well, to your point, better interest rates. But
I was gonna say, I was like, the goblins were like, yeah, for 20%. He's like, 5. Give me an Order of Merlin.
It was probably during a time of rebellion, since literally every time is a time of rebellion by those dang goblins.
Not under your regime.
Exactly. Strong hand. What is more biased, the Order of Merlin or the NFL Hall of Fame? Because I think both seem to be incredibly flawed at this point.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. The Order of Merlin, definitely, because no one's ever cared about the NFL. Everyone kind of respected the NFL's Hall of Fame cred until they decided to not put Belichick in on the first try.
Respect lost.
Like everyone makes fun of basketball because it's like a garbage Hall of Fame that doesn't matter at all.
Right.
They just let everyone in and they just don't care. So it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, I'm sure it'd be cool to visit, but it's like a bad representation of like the importance of who was actually important at basketball. But bad job by them. Baseball is like notorious for being really hard to get into, but also just ignores all the best players. Barry Bonds is the best baseball player any of us have ever seen. He's not in it. So
you can't tell the story.
A-Rod will never be in it, and like they just won't, like, so it's a joke, right? And then the NFL, like no one ever thought about it until this. Everyone's like, yeah, like NFL.
Well, I still think Belichick should make his own Hall of Fame and just invite Tom Brady to be in it, and then they'll have more Super Bowls than everyone else combined. So
pretty
make
much,
your own.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say the Order of Merlin. I mean, I'm sure like there's some like maybe like Nobel Peace Prizes that are kind of similar. Like, thankfully Trump didn't get one, right? That didn't happen. So
he tried.
That's good. He tried.
Didn't get like a FIFA World Peace Prize. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I did, which is, like accepting a peace prize from like Darth Vader, the Emperor.
Oh my gosh. That's a great comp. Well said.
Hey, the Empire gave me a peace prize. And they're like, oh, great.
Also, like the Order of Merlin third class, like isn't actually like an achievement. It's like you entertained us a little bit. That's what a third class is. So they're not even.
Yeah, isn't that like messed
cool.
up? That there's like different tiers. It's like it's
kind of like the first 2 are like legit, but the third one's stupid. It's just like, you entertained us for a little bit, which is what Lockhart has.
Yeah, the way I thought about it is like, like people get like military things for like combat, like, and obviously the Medal of Honor is like the highest one, right? And like, you got to do crazy stuff to win the Medal of Honor,
right?
Like John Basilone and like all these other stories, but then like some guy like did something like that's good, not Medal of Honor good. You'll get the second. Like, exactly. And then like some people get a Purple Heart. Like, well, you got shot. Here's a Purple Heart.
I respect the Purple Heart.
My dad has his uncle's Purple Heart. His uncle got shot in the Philippines and sat in a ditch for however long.
We used to have a sign. We used to have a sign at our gym that the closest parking spot was for Purple Hearts only, but then they took it away after a couple of years. So sad for.
I feel like if they did
Hearts.
that where I live, there would be too many people taking the parking spot because where I live is like all military. There are so many military. Half my neighbors are military, which is great. Love the military. But it's just everyone's military here. Not a complaint. But like I would laugh like in San Antonio if you put like a Purple Heart only, there'd be like people fighting each other. It'd be like, well, I got one too. Like, man, get in line, pal. There's so many disabled veteran plates. Just a bunch of people with all sorts of stuff. Anyway.
I was unaware of that demographic of San Antonio, but now we're all wiser. William, our last one is the Pensieve. And we already did an entire podcast on the Pensieve.
Deep dive on the Pensieve.
So I have nothing further to add. And if you want to know more about the Pensieve, then go back like 7 episodes and listen to our Pensieve episode, and it's awesome. So we did it.
Heck yeah, we did.
What's our timestamp at?
106.
Dang it. Still not under an hour.
No, but it was slightly less than the last one, maybe. But we're still talking. So we love y'all.
True. We love you. We'll be back next week. We gotta plug. We got to plug. Next week, we will be back, and we are going to go through some witches and wizards and maybe the Dursleys, but maybe we'll have to turn that into a 2-parter as well because we talk a lot about everything. So we'll have
wide
to see.
canon.
William, we still haven't done ghosts. So eventually, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about ghosts. I look forward to it.
Let's just do that like Jimmy Kimmel's like, my apologies to Matt Damon. We ran out of time or whatever. Like that's like that.
It should be our ongoing. One day we'll talk about ghosts.
We'll talk about ghosts next time. We're never going to talk about ghosts.
I like that. I mean, that's why we haven't had Hans Zimmer on the podcast yet. There's just no time. We keep talking too much, and it's fine.
I was texting him, but I was like, hey, man, chill.
It's like, hey, Jason Kelsey might be coming on, but we actually don't have time for him either because we have to get through all these essays. So it's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. I don't think he saw us on any social media sites, so sorry to disappoint William, but no Jason Kelsey.
Oh, darn. I was so hopeful.
All right. We'll see you next week for essays from HarryPotter.com on witches and wizards and the Dursleys if you want to study ahead. And we love you, and you're welcome for this being only an hour and like 5 minutes. So, mad respect. Deuces.
Peace.